What's going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today is November the 20th. I want to give you a quick pre-market update, go over some of the hot movers and what big money is doing today. Before I get into any of that though, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So starting off, not a lot in data points similar to yesterday. So today's largely going to be technicals and companies unveiling the earnings. That's going to be some of the biggest driving factors. But after hours today, you have Nvidia's earnings. That's going to be the biggest one probably for this week, in my opinion. But futures are kind of creeping up slightly. NASDAQ up 0.28, S&P up 0.22, and Dow is up 0.4. No new escalations coming from Ukraine or nothing like that. So I think that's maybe a positive thing on a side note. But fear and greed index is under the neutral category, so meaning people's appetite for risk isn't necessarily there. So something to just keep in mind. But starting off, SOFI is up, and so they are on a absolute tear for it to go up. Even during the 24-hour trading, it did hit $14 and roughly 75 cents. So in my opinion, that's a good indication of where it could potentially be going. No actual news associated to SOFI or anything like that as of this morning, but as of right now, 14.1% of the free float is being shorted. So shorts have been losing a ton of money. Currently, there's $2.17 billion in shorts. So it's I think it's just a matter of time before they do keep on returning some shares, and that should in theory keep adding a good level of buying pressure. As of right now, with at 14.53, it is trading between this R2 and this R1. So 14.24 is going to be a strong support, and then 14.58 will be that strong pivot. But as of right now, it does look like there will be a new 52-week high for SOFI. So it's one of those things that nobody necessarily knows how high it could go. You can kind of look at options as a good indicator, and that is kind of pointing to in excess of $16. So we'll just have to wait and see how high it can go. But SOFI has been on a absolute amazing run. NIO, not so much. So NIO is currently down 2.38%, which in my opinion is rather timid, especially considering based on their implied move from their earnings. I think it was estimated like a 10% swing. I'll just pull this up quickly. So right at the bottom, it was or did have an implied move of 10.46%. So right now, it's kind of rather timid, but this is the tentative results from their earnings. So they came in line for the earnings per share. Revenue, they did miss, and I think the earnings call is underway right now, so we'll just have to wait and see how that does turn out. But shorts already are increasing 1.14 million shares. So I think there is going to be a certain level of suppression that does happen, but 14.72% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 196.63 million shares overall are being shorted. Some points to watch for with it at 14.53. It is, or I don't know why I'm getting $4.52. It is trading between this S1 and this S2. So 432 will be a strong support, which hasn't been touched over the greater part of the last week. And then $4.89 will be that strong pivot for NIO. So kind of just take note of both of those. Moving on, ticker ZIM. So another company that had very good earnings. This is some of the kind of tentative highlights for you to keep in mind. I'm not necessarily going to go over all of this, so just feel free to pause it and do what you do. But it is up, not heavily shorted, in my opinion. So 13.19% of the free float is being shorted, which is rather low for the sector, but 13.09 million shares overall are being shorted. So given today's results, it looks as though that shorts did anticipate that ultimately maybe they would have beat, because they did return recently 17, or they were at 17% short interest, and now they're at 13. So maybe they did anticipate this earnings beat. So similarly, I anticipate them probably to return some shares, so something just to keep in mind. Right now, with it at 29 and change, it is trading between this R3 and this R2. So 29.66 will be a strong kind of target for the stock, and then 28.15 will be a strong support. So kind of just take note of that. Nvidia, so they are the most heavily traded stock so far Premarket, even though they haven't unveiled their earnings. That is after hours today, so that'll be a interesting ride. This is the estimates right now. So 75 cents for the earnings per share, 33.14 billion for the revenue, and over the last 90 days there's been 32 positive, 5 negative revisions to the earnings per share. In my opinion, I think that they are going to have a nice beat, and that the stock price, in my opinion, has just been suppressed, largely because of SMCI. That one as well is getting a lot of volume, more so for the downside, but I think just a lot of these other stocks is a little bit more interesting to talk on rather than them. But yeah, in general, Nvidia is going to be a very interesting beast, but I can see it realistically around that 160, but that's just me. Sometimes my crystal ball is wrong. And as of right now though, shorts are returning 978,000 shares pre-market, so clear indication that they see more upside as well. But 1.03% of the free float is being shorted, so don't get me wrong, this is not a squeeze play at all. In fact, none of the stocks I am talking on this morning are a squeeze play, but 242.47 million shares overall are being shorted. And if you're looking at trading it with at 147, it is trading between these 2 points, so this R2 and this R1. So 141 is going to be a strong support. I don't realistically see that being touched naturally, maybe post earnings possibly, but 148 is going to be the next strong target, and in my opinion I could see that being broken during the trading day. So again, just do your own due diligence. And finally, Target. So Target is getting smacked around because of their earnings. So clearly they are not Walmart. Walmart had a very nice beat recently. Target, again, not so much. It's I feel like they've done this in the past, kind of sold off because of their earnings, but it does get bought up very fast, so maybe that is something just to keep in mind. Shorts are increasing 673,000 shares pre-market. 3.39% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 15.58 million shares overall are being shorted. If you're looking at trading it though, with a 126 and change, trading between this pivot and this S1, so 112, I don't see that being touched today. And then 142, similarly, I don't see that being touched. If anything, it might gravitate to what it was, roughly around the 130s, but still, you do your own due diligence at the end of the day. So actually, it looks like there will be most likely a new 52-week low, so kind of opposite extremes to what is happening with SOFI. So let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Do you own any of these stocks? Is there any other stocks that's kind of on your radar? So don't forget to hit that thumbs up. And one final thing I do want to share with you though, I did launch a Patreon where I'm giving buy signals on stocks, options, crypto, and they have been absolute hits. So make sure you pop over there, take a look. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.